So I want to make something very, very clear to you. There is no such thing as get rich quick. There's no such thing as get rich easy, but there is such a thing as get rich quicker and get rich easier. So whatever you do in life, you're not just gonna magically snap your fingers and all of a sudden make money, but there are definitely ways that you can make your life a lot easier because their quote unquote laziness leads them to evaluate all the opportunities and choose the opportunity that has the best ROI, the best vehicle to get them to their destination. So in today's video, I have a very simple promise for you. I'm gonna show you the laziest way. And by the way, don't ever let anyone shame you for looking for the laziest way. A lot of times the laziest translates into the smartest. So I'm gonna show you the laziest way to make money this year. And we're gonna do that by evaluating all the different business models out there and get to the bottom of really what makes the most sense for you at your career stage. All right, so listen, as a 9-figure entrepreneur, I've been asked this question over and over. And a lot of people, I come from a very unique perspective because I own multiple software companies. I own multiple physical product brands, for example, like my eyewear business. I got my start doing service businesses. I've been one of the most successful people in digital products probably ever. And at least at this current time, I'm the #1 digital product expert in the world. And as I said, going back to my software companies, one of the companies that I own is a company that helps people with digital products. And at the time of recording this, at least people make about $100 million a month on my platform. So I'm in this very interesting position where, I've had service businesses, I have some bootstrap software companies, I have some VC funded software companies, I have physical product brands, I have consumable brands. Like my investment in my empire is so far reaching. So I'm not really married or obsessed over any one model. They can all work. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys and show you which one is really the laziest one, aka the smartest path. So that way you're not working 60, 70 hours a week on this thing that may or may not work. So that's why in today's video, we're gonna answer a very simple question. How can you make the most amount of money with the least amount of effort? You see, in 2025, there's this whole stigma, there's this whole grind culture where anyone asking this question should be shunned for wanting to make money with minimal effort. And as someone who has taught thousands and thousands and thousands of aspiring entrepreneurs how to make money online, to be honest, at this point, it might even be millions. I want to tell you something very important. Asking what is the laziest, which to me really just means the smartest, the highest ROI way in terms of how much you put in versus how much you get out. Like as an investor, for example, I'm always looking at deals and I'm going, how can I make the highest return, have the largest delta from what I put in compared to what I get out? Why should business be any different, or side hustles or online businesses be any different? Like it's a very valid question to ask, and you should not be shamed for wanting to be a bajillionaire and work your face off for 30 years and sleep on a mattress. It's like, no, your business can work for you, and you can build a lazy business that works for you rather than you being a slave to business. So this is a very valid question, and don't let anyone, the whole hustle culture thing, like try to shame you for asking this question. And listen, I'm sure you've seen this and I'm sure you're sick of it. How many videos have you seen on YouTube telling you the reason that you're not a millionaire is because you're just simply not working hard enough? Okay, cool. So using that same logic, is that the reason why nurses, teachers, and construction workers aren't millionaires because they just don't work hard enough? Of course not. We know that's ridiculous. Those are some of the hardest working professionals out there. You see, hard work is just one component of becoming rich, and the richest people on earth, they know this, they understand this. As Warren Buffett once famously said, it's not about how hard you row, it's about what boat that you're in. So in very simple terms, the business model you choose is more important than the hours you dedicate to it. Some business models require more work than others to achieve the same result. That is quite frankly a fact. So today, I'm gonna help you find the laziest business model. I'm gonna compare 5 different business models. And by the way, this is speaking from experience, not a, hey, well, I think this one's harder, or I think this, like, by the way, coming from someone who's made $1 million in profit with every single one of these models, literally every single one of them. And some of these models I've made up to $100 million from. So like, trust me, I know what I'm talking about when I speak about this. And we're gonna compare them to find the one that allows you to make the most money with the least effort. So to compare these business models, let's use 5 categories to accurately assess which business model is truly the laziest. The first one is upfront capital. Now, the capital category measures the minimum dollar amount you need to spend to start the business and get it off the ground. Next is scalability. Now, scalability measures your ability to make more money without doing additional work. Next, we look at fulfillment. Now, fulfillment measures how challenging it is to deliver whatever it is that you're selling. Next, we look at risk. Now, different business models have various levels of risk. Risk is usually linked to time and capital. And by the way, I am not a fan at all of risk when it comes to starting a business. Now, later on in your life, you can take big bets. A lot of times when I start companies or, even my existing businesses, the other day we sent a $500,000 wire for our next batch of product for the eyewear company. Or for example, when I started Big Day, my consumable brand, we put almost $1 million into stock just from the get-go. And as time goes on, you can put more risks into these businesses. These days, I'm taking very, very big risks in terms of my capital in terms of how much money I'm investing in businesses. That's really what I've been doing the majority of last year in my free time, is just buying up a lot of companies. And usually each month I reveal one of those. I'm sure some of you guys saw, I took a major stake in a company called WALP as a co-owner, whether it be that or another one of my companies, Lyra, that I invested in last year. I'm currently a shareholder in that company. We just got accepted into Y Combinator. And in a few months, when we open up our first official round, I would have made about a 15x in that company. So all of these are great, but they're risks. They're big money risks. A lot of times these risks cannot work out. So me in my career stage, if I write the checks that I do and things don't work out, if I invest money into this company or that company, it's okay because I have the risk tolerance and I'm farther into my career. Whereas when I first started, I'm really not a big fan of risk until you've had many, many years under your belt as an entrepreneur. Next is difficulty. Now, difficulty measures how hard it is to understand the business model and how much trial and error is involved in building a successful business. So, to truly find the laziest business model, we really need to start by finding the business model that meets these following criteria. Upfront capital is low, scalability is high, fulfillment is easy, risk is low, and difficulty is easy. If we can get one that has all of these, well then, amazing, we are in business. Now listen, I know there are thousands of entrepreneurs out there telling you how easy it is to make money with the model that they use. As I mentioned to you before, there's one very key difference between them and me. The reason that these people tell you that their business model is the easiest is because that is the model that they succeeded in. I have succeeded in all of these models, either previously or currently still in this moment. So that is why you truly came to the right place with this video, because I have a full 360 view of all of them, and I truly understand which business models you can make the most amount of money with the least effort. So as I said, today I'm going to share behind the scenes of some of the most popular online business models. As I mentioned, no one is more qualified to share this on YouTube because I've succeeded with all these, whether that be consumable brands, software, digital products, agency services, once again, physical products. And with most of these businesses, I have multiple companies within those product categories. So let's start with one of the most common online business models. Dropshipping. I mean, dropshipping seems pretty easy, right? You just find a product that people like, you find a supplier from a country like China, you list the product on your website, and the sales start rolling in. Voila, surely. And the best part is that all of the fulfillment is taken care of by your supplier. Well, my friend, I wish it was this easy, but unfortunately, it's not. So let's see how dropshipping stacks up in our 5 categories, starting with upfront capital. You see, one of the most expensive parts when it comes to starting a dropshipping business is finding a winning product, or at least a legal one. Anyways, that usually requires weeks, if not months, of running paid ads just to see whether you have found a product that actually sells. Then when it comes to scalability, I mean, to be honest, it really depends. Traditional dropshipping isn't scalable at all. Dropshippers continue to test products, always closing old stores that are dying and building new stores for the next fad or the next product that they find that's a winner, but then fades over time. So if you're building real, actual brands, like I do with my e-commerce products, then yeah, sure, it can be very scalable. But then again, I say that, and there's issues all the time, even just yesterday. Listen, it wasn't a massive order. It was only about 1,000 units. So those 1,000 units of one of our SKUs at the eyewear company, whatever, that's 125 grand worth of sales or stock. So it's a very small part of our order. But anyways, in the production, there was some discoloration. For us, that's not acceptable. We're never going to sell that to our customers. So there we go. Now I'm set back 2 to 3 months on that specific SKU. So it is scalable, but you can, anytime you're making anything tangible, there can be a lot of issues involved. But anyways, back to the point. If we're doing it like this and, building a real brand and all this stuff, that doesn't fall under traditional dropshipping anymore. These businesses are highly complex with multiple parties being involved along the supply chain. So building a real brand compared to dropshipping, those are 2 very different things. Now, when it comes to fulfillment, yes, majority of it is done for you for the most part, but there are aspects of the fulfillment process that is out of your control. Aspects like shipping delays, suppliers not having stock, and refunds. The lack of control when it comes to fulfillment can make this a very stressful business because, maybe you have the demand, but unfortunately a lot of times there can be fulfillment issues. So moderate, I don't mean as in like it's a lot of difficulty to fulfill. It's just that there's a lot of things that could go wrong in the process. Now let's talk about risk. You see, the upfront investment needed for testing products, fluctuating market trends, and a lack of control during fulfillment means that dropshipping is a high risk business model. I mean, even just a few days ago, I woke up to the glorious news about Trump's new tariffs, and that makes dropshipping that much more tricky. And listen, for me as an e-commerce brand owner, that affects me personally as well. Now I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be good. As I said, I have actual brands. There's a lot more control we have, and there's a lot more options and ways to take things. But with dropshipping, unfortunately things have gotten that much harder. Now going back to risk, I have seen so many beginners burn through money when they don't have the right training, and I've seen established stores die out due to market trends. Now when it comes to difficulty, I would say this model is incredibly difficult, okay? Being truly successful with dropshipping in 2025 is very difficult. And by the way, it just seems to be getting harder and harder and harder. The amount of trial and error when testing products coupled with the levels of competition in the market means the learning curve is steep. It can take months, half a year to even become profitable. So let's summarize dropshipping. Upfront capital, 2,000 to 5,000. Scalability is moderate. Fulfillment is moderate. Risk is high and difficulty is hard. So listen, despite popular belief and all the stuff that you've been sold, dropshipping takes a lot of effort and high risk tolerance to be successful. So let's talk about the first model that I used to make money online. Social media marketing agency. A social media marketing agency is a service-based business where you offer specific marketing services to businesses in exchange for a fee. Now, these services include services like paid traffic, SEO, web development, social media management, as well as lead generation. I have openly said many times that SMMA is one of the best business models for beginners, but let's see how it performs in the 5 categories. So let's talk about upfront capital because this is really where SMMA excels. SMMA is a sweat equity model. It doesn't require thousands of dollars in software or paid ads to keep upfront costs low. All you need to get started is a laptop, Wi-Fi, and some basic software. It's very cheap to start. Now, one thing that SMMAs aren't particularly good at is scalability. Agencies can be scaled, but it comes at a cost. Because it's a service-based business, every additional client adds more work and more complexity. And there becomes a point where agencies become so complex that simply the extra juice just isn't worth the squeeze. And that's why for so many years, I kept telling people, agency is a great business model to get to 10K a month. If you go look at my YouTube channel, I wasn't telling people you're gonna make 100K a month, any huge numbers. I just said, listen, if you want to have a great lifestyle business to make 5K, 10K, 15, even upwards of 20K a month, great business model. Scaling past there, becomes a little tricky. Now let's talk about fulfillment. You see, fulfilling the services you provide when running an agency can be pretty simple due to contractor arbitrage, but that is only